All righty. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are with another episode of the Slack Doctors. I am Dr. Chip.
I am Dr. Bob.
No guest today, and I don't know if you have any news nuggets, but I've certainly got some news boulders.
Yeah, no, I have a feeling we're going to have the same subject matter there.
Well, first thing I wanted to ask you is you remember that guy that ate a raw pig on Worth Avenue? Yeah, neither do I. What the hell, man? Can you imagine the age that we live in where like that just kind of comes and goes without barely a notice? Yeah, some guy broke out.
I feel like eating a raw pig in public would have been a headline regardless of the time.
True, but you would think there would be more follow-up, more like a week later going, why would this guy do it? What's going on with him? But no, it's been totally eclipsed by a weekend chock full of insane news. But anyway, well, one of the things I wanted to comment on is I actually read Dave Connolly's post about the taxes in England. And, it seems to me what he said basically is they just take it out of your pay. I mean, they don't have an IRS, so it's not like you get any back or you have to pay extra. They just take it out of your pay. And then apparently there's another tax, like a consumption tax on top of whatever they take out of your pay. But the part that he didn't really answer for me, which I would have to know if I lived over there, is how do you pay taxes if you don't have an employer? But if you just make your own money, are you exempt then?
Right.
Do you not have to pay?
There are, people that own their own businesses there, and
that's what I would think.
Have to pay taxes.
Yeah, I would think. And I'm sure there's a like here, I'm sure there's a class of people that live below the radar of whoever collects the taxes over there and just deals in cash and probably skates paying any taxes.
I know their version of sales tax is called VAT, which stands for value added tax. And those taxes are worked into the price of things. So when you purchase things, retail there, it automatically, the tax is included.
Right. Yeah, so apparently their system's very much like ours. So anyway, which news boulder would you like to talk about first?
I guess we have to go to a land down under.
Yeah, that seems to be the one in the headlines right now.
Echo hearing myself back in my headphones.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, we have interesting audio. You sound fine to us. But anyway, that one is not only the most in the headlines, but also seems the most suspect. Like there's a lot of things that don't add up about that already.
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind about not adding up, when this news story first broke, people were jumping on it and talking about, well, this, Second Amendment, you outlaw guns, only the outlaws are going to have guns. And then it comes out he bought these guns legally.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my serious questions is for a country with such strict gun laws and for these guys to have 6 legal guns, does that mean that in Australia you can only own a gun if you're an Islamic terrorist?
I don't know what the background
well, that's what I'm saying.
Check for that would be. But
clearly,
what an insane, and a father-son combo too.
Well, now I don't know if this is true, but on Facebook, people are proposing or accusing them, one or both of them, of being former members of the IDF. Which, if that's the case, that would explain how they could own a gun in Australia. Otherwise, how did they get through the rigorous gun owning process enough to own 6 guns? Also, there's some comment about the length of the response. It took like 20 minutes for the cops to even get there to stop these guys, apparently. And that's, that could be another argument for the Second Amendment. Some people are saying that they just don't know how to deal with people with guns because they don't do it. And they were scared.
They don't have the experience of dealing with it the way our
right. Well, and then they say some
do.
Well, they say some of the cops there only have like batons and mace and tasers and stuff like that. So going up against a heavily armed guy, I'd be scared too. I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for the cavalry.
The police are always armed. They don't do nearly enough range time. They're not actually. Most of them are not that good of a shot.
Right. Well, but I'm sure they have their version of like SWAT. I'm sure there are guys on the force that. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, and since there was 20 minutes of response time, obviously there's lots of footage. And first of all, I want to talk about the hero, the guy that ran out there and grabbed the gun from the one guy. You saw that footage, right?
Yes.
All right. So look, I mean, nobody can dispute that the guy is some level a hero, but I myself would say he's almost as stupid as a hero. Because, first of all, I mean, not what he did. Well, that is a level of stupid, but I might have done the same thing if I was in the right position, you'd say. But it's what he did after he got the gun. Like, what the hell are you thinking, dude? There's another guy with a gun. I would have used the first guy as a shield, as I advanced towards the second guy with the gun over his shoulder, with my hand on his collar, going, drop the fucking weapon. Not just whatever the hell he did. He just kind of like pointed it at him and then put it down. Or I guess they shot him, like after he took it or something. But it's like,
we were just as we were talking about how their police department doesn't have a lot of experience dealing with guns. I would imagine the general public has even less. He might not have known how to operate the damn thing.
Well, and the other thing I thought about is it may have been out of ammo. He may have tried to shoot the guy and it just went click. So I don't know, but I mean, it just seems to me like if I just took a shotgun from the guy and had it pointed at him and there's another guy still shooting, I'm going to at least find some kind of cover. I'm not going to stand out there and then just, I don't know. And then did you see the footage of what happened after they finally took him down with all the weird civilians stomping around and fighting with each other and stuff like that? That was crazy. Did you see that?
The amount of people at that beach was crazy.
Yeah, well, there's another thing that's even crazier if it's true, but do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see the footage after they took him down? And then I guess some guy ran up there and then another.
Watch it.
What's that?
I didn't continue to watch it that far.
Yeah, after the guy's down, some guy runs up there, another guy runs up there. They start fighting with each other while the cops are up there. The cops end up putting the gun on those guys, taking one of them to the ground. It was like, like who's going to run up to that scene after the cops have shot the guys? I mean, they're going to, who knows, they could conflate you as one of the guys, one of the terrorists. What are you doing? Stay away. It's just, I know people in Australia are crazy and all, but Jesus Christ, man. Some of the stuff they did is just like, what, are they crazy?
Once again, this is a scenario that as Americans, we see it all the time. And we kind of think we know what we're supposed to do, but
this is the land of Mad Max, bro. They've seen movies. They don't, it's not like they're not tribal people that don't know anything. I mean, they've watched, I'm sure they've seen a John Wick movie or Jason Bourne or something. I mean, they're just, I don't know. There just didn't seem like anybody was using their head. And then there's another camera angle where the guy's pretty close, and he's literally almost looking straight from behind the guy, down the barrel of the gun where he's shooting at these people, and nobody's getting hit. I mean, it sure looks like he's shooting right at these people with a shotgun, and they're standing over there just going, is he shooting at us? It's very strange.
What was the final toll? Was it 16 or 19?
I heard 15 or something like that. I don't know. But and the other thing is now they're saying, well, and this is another conspiracy theory type thing, but they're showing this one guy that supposedly survived that shooting from Israel, obviously a Jewish guy, that apparently was also at the October 7th attack. What are the chances of that? If it's true, which I don't know. That was on Facebook, so who knows how true that is. But yeah, that one seems a little iffy. That one seems pretty iffy. And the most documented, violently destructive one for sure.
There's not even that many Jews in Australia. I mean, compared to like the percentage of them that exist in the United States or in Western
I don't
Europe.
know.
I want to say it's like 150,000 Jews out of like 27 million Australians.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, some of the people online are bringing up the fact that, if you're going to do something like that in this climate, especially, why not no security? They didn't have any kind of security there at all to begin with. That might have been a little unwise, first of all. But yeah, the whole thing, I don't know. That whole thing's a little fishy. And then you got the Brown University thing. Now, isn't Brown University the same place where an Asian guy shouted up a few years ago, like 10 years ago or something?
I know I know the incident you're talking about, but I don't think it was Brown. It might have been.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think now that I think about it, I think where he shot something up was in Virginia. Brown is in
I think you're correct.
Yeah, Brown is in like Delaware or something. But yeah, all right. So that guy got away, right? So how do we know what his motivation is? See, these things don't work if the people just get away.
Right. No manifesto. He hasn't phoned anything in or sent an
what was
email.
that all about? Is somebody going to call in and claim that it was them for their cause, or what was that about?
Oh, somebody will claim it even if they weren't the one,
Good
somebody
point.
will try to take credit for it regardless of whether they did it or not.
Good point. Yeah, that one's weird. No apparent motive. And apparently they caught a guy or thought they caught a guy and then had to let him go. Don't look too good for the FBI. Yeah, so that one's just weird, unsolved. That guy's walking around, who knows where. And then it's
been an insane couple of days. I mean,
oh yeah,
I know this is too soon, and this was definitely going to be an inappropriate comment, but I literally, one of my first thoughts after hearing about the Reiner story, the Rob Reiner story,
right,
was, how the New York Post is notorious for just the most salacious headlines. It doesn't matter how inappropriate it is, but I could, just because of the rhyme scheme, I could see them having their headline being "Meathead is dead."
Yeah, that's very poetic. Yeah, and you heard they arrested the son, the kid, right?
Yeah, Nick. That's the guy who he did that movie, something about Charlie. I know Charlie was in the title of the movie, and it was basically Nick's life story.
Yeah,
or heavily inspired by.
Yeah, and apparently he was a troubled kid. Well, he's not even a kid anymore, right?
No.
Yeah, that's weird. And then, also, speaking of troubled kids, have you heard anything more about the January 6th guy they arrested?
No, the Brian something or another.
Yeah, Brian Cole or something.
Pipe bomb guy, right?
Dude, it turns out this guy is like severely autistic. And lives like even though he's like 28 or whatever, he apparently acts like he's about the level of a 16-year-old because he's so severely autistic. Like, I mean,
and that's the guy who planned and orchestrated this entire thing.
Exactly. I mean, you guys got to pick these patsies better. It's just getting so. Well, and that brings us to Syria, and they're all upset that Syria is being attacked by ISIS and Al Qaeda, while we have the leader of ISIS is running the country. Make that make sense.
It's a clown show.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Oh, I meant to look up because I was watching those guys that do Monday morning. Oh gosh, I forget the name of their podcast, but they do it every Monday. They watch all the Sunday shows, and they were showing a clip from one of the Sunday shows, and as they cut it off, there was a tease of Lindsey Graham starting to rail about ISIS. And I was like, damn it, I want to see that clip. I want to see, I want to see him bitching about ISIS, even though it was his great idea to put the leader of ISIS in charge of Syria. Dude, Syria's a mess. Syria's not even, Syria is going to get broken into three parts. There's basically three factions that own parts of Syria right now. And the Russians will get one. We'll get one. Well, we'll get one and let this guy from ISIS run it. And then actual ISIS, I guess, may get a section of it. That's the way it's kind of possessed now. It's crazy.
Right. Syria is home to one of the oldest cities on earth, or continuously inhabited places. Damascus.
Oh, really? Is it?
Yeah, I think Jericho might be considered the oldest one, but
Right. Right.
Damascus is not far behind.
Yeah, Damascus has definitely been around for a while. And that's older than like Bethlehem and about the same.
Of the same age. It was a more important city at the time, being a trade route.
Right.
I mean, that's where somebody there cracked the code for Damascus steel, which is what's called that, because that's where it was traded from.
And what is the secret to that? Just the amount of time they quench it or whatever?
I think it has something to do with the folding process.
I think that's
I'm not sure.
That's the samurais. That's how the samurais are made, the folding process. I think Damascus is different. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I can recognize the pattern of Damascus steel when I see it. Right. No, I don't know exactly
I
how
think
they go about making it.
I think actually the Damascus steel has something to do with the amount of... I mean, because steel is iron mixed with other stuff.
Right.
Whatever.
What makes a good sword is the addition of carbon. Carbon makes it into spring steel, so it is able to snap back and bend and be flexible. The reason they did so much folding and hammering and refolding in Japan is because their original quality of their iron was not good.
Right.
So they had so many impurities that they had to really process the bejesus out of it. Whereas places like Scandinavia, their iron came out of the ground pretty solid.
So that's it. That's something I always wondered about is metallurgy. And if you have iron that's got a lot of impurities in it, where do they go when you melt it? How does it stay in the iron? Wouldn't the impurities go out? I mean, be expunged or?
Some of them come out in the smelting process, and then they hammer the rest of them out.
What is
the scale that forms on it is most of the impurities, and then they hammer that off, and then reheat it, and then hammer it off, and reheat it, and hammer it off.
What does iron look like when it comes out of the ground? Just like rust?
Usually, yeah, reddish. I mean, depending on the quality of the ore and where you're getting it. I mean, you can make iron weaponry out of silt if there's enough in it. I mean, you have to dry it out, but there's so much iron just settled down into the oceans. So there's iron down there. You said
silt? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. There was a guy on one of those, I guess they go live out in the backwoods of Alaska, but there was this guy that had his deal to live out there and make a living was he would make knives. And he would actually go out and find the iron and, go through that. But he also used scrapped iron too, but he would actually go and mine and find iron and smelt it, which, we may be doing that soon if nuclear Armageddon comes soon. So speaking of, so we got the Erica Kirk, Candace Owens things has gone completely, completely into the stratosphere. And I just got to say, I mean, I've made my thoughts on Erica Kirk pretty clear from the beginning. I just don't trust that chick. And now she's blatantly lying. I mean, she's clearly lying. There's no denying she's lying.
Yeah, I've been recently seeing lots of memes about her basically stating like the meme will be like Charlie is turning down the money from Israel and she's right behind him going, oh, that's okay. I'll take that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the biggest lie from her is that that Charlie didn't think anybody was going to, nobody was threatening his life. He wasn't scared for his life at all. And then you got the guy, God, I can't remember his name, but he's one of the guy that says he was like my son. He's the guy with the baseball cap, doing this with the but he's the first one that says, oh yeah, Charlie told me the night before that, he was concerned with his safety and was worried somebody was going to kill him. And so somebody's lying. Somebody's lying.
Isn't that why he was announcing an audit of Turning Point?
Yeah, something audit? Like that. Yeah, that's a whole nother thread of possibilities of why. But I mean, here's the other huge lie. I remember that guy the head of his security team went on Sean Ryan and sits there and goes, "Oh yeah, no, it would be against. I can't make my guys break the law and fly a drone." Meanwhile, the same hat guy is saying, "Yes, we were driving to the event and we're looking at the drone footage of the crowd building up." I'm like, wait a minute, I thought it was illegal to fly a drone. I mean, people are lying. Somebody is lying.
Why would it even be illegal to fly a drone there? I mean, aside from airspaces, I didn't think there was that many.
I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. And then, the whole thing about, like, oh, well, we talked about, they said he had us covered on the roof, and then nobody does anything about the roof. It's just like, God, it's just too. Maybe
the slope was too.
What's that?
Extreme. The slope of the roof,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, at this point, the stuff they expect us to believe is just, and then it's just getting even worse. Like people online, like taking Kirk's side and like, oh yeah, what's wrong with you people? The overwhelming evidence that Tyler, I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? What overwhelming evidence? There's no overwhelming evidence. There's a bunch of circumstantial shit evidence that begs for conspiracy theories. If they'd leaked some actual, solid evidence, nobody would be able to conspire, have any theories of anything. But the fact that they've flubbed it up so bad, floated so many ridiculously insane theories about what they think happened. I mean, that's what's making all the conspiracy theories. Not, they're telling the wrong people to stop. Don't tell Candace to stop. Tell the FBI to stop. They're crazy. This is insane. So anyway, to get off politics, dude, I don't know what it is with Jeeps, and it seems to be the bigger the tire, the bigger the problem. But man, I got the death wobbles like twice on the way down here. And I've never gotten the death wobble on 95. It's always like on frickin' Dixie doing like 45 to 50 to 55 mile an hour, right in there. And you hit a bump and the thing just starts going. It's crazy. And I used to think it was, I just put air in my back tire that was kind of low, thinking that maybe that's what's causing it. But no, it made it even worse when I put air in the tire. What the hell is that?
Because after a bump, when the tires come down, they're not in sync with each other anymore?
Something like that. And it's weird because it does have to be just the right, like the frequency of the bump has to be right. Like a quick bump, no, that's not going to do it. It's literally, and I'll tell you right now, there's little dips in the road from Hypoluxo to Boynton. For some reason, every once in a while, there's just like a little dip in the road. I don't know why they're there, where they come from, but that's what does it. These little dips. I'll go through this dip, and next thing you know, I'm like, and there's nothing you can do except just slow down till it stops. It's so annoying.
Literally every motor vehicle that you own is potentially subject to the wobble.
Well,
because the bikes can get the tank slapper.
Yeah, well, I don't see my Beaver ever doing that. Now my other bike actually does that, which is weird because that bike I used to be able to just take my hands off the handlebars and coast to a light and it'd be no problem. Now, if I do that, sure enough, it starts, I got to grab the handlebars. And I don't know if that's the tire just wearing unevenly or something. But yeah, I don't see the Beamer having any tank slapper problems ever. That thing's too smooth. Now the other bike, the Boulevard, yeah, that would maybe.
Was it raining or something today? Why'd you take the Jeep?
It is raining. As a matter of fact, I walked out and I didn't realize I'd left my window open on the Jeep. I got a wet ass right now from sitting on a wet seat. Yeah, it's kind of
cold last night here in Gainesville. I think.
Well, I was going to say it's
35.
It's not like it's raining hard. It's like at the most misting, but it's one of those days where it's like cloud cover. If it were colder, it looked like it would snow. You know what I mean? But it's obviously not that cold. But yeah, it's one of those cloud covered days where it's just kind of meh. Which I kind of, yesterday was nice. I'd planned on bringing the motorcycle yesterday. But yeah, this, apparently a front came through. How cold is it up there?
It was 35
Really?
in the wee hours of the morning.
Good
Yeah.
Lord, it gets cold up there.
The high today is only like 56.
You know, as cold as it got here, I never even shut my windows. I had to get under a blanket at night to sleep, but never got that cold here. I would have definitely
left my bedroom window open last night, it would have been a bad idea.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it got down to 35, I would have definitely had to close a window. But yeah, no, it doesn't, it don't get that bad. I think the coldest it's gotten down here is maybe in the 60s. Maybe 50s.
Yeah, you might see upper 50s in February.
Oh yeah, no. When the fair comes around, it usually gets real cold. The first couple of weeks of January, we'll probably get. That's usually, it's funny because the Ryan, the producer, was talking about how my prediction for Thanksgiving rains was right on. I've got Florida weather pretty much down.
Yeah, that's funny. Our little Thanksgiving rain short got a lot of views.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's boat parade season. And, I mean, our friend Gilly went to go see it the other night, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going to be down there in a boat." I'm like, "Yeah, maybe I'm not going down there." I mean, once you've seen one, you've seen them all. They do all kinds of weird stuff with boats. It's like, okay.
And there's a show too, right?
What's
the
that?
Boat show, where basically a bunch of boats for sale.
No.
No.
Well, not that I know of. I mean, maybe somewhere they do that, but no, it's a thing. They do it at night. It's just a bunch of boats with Christmas lights on them, or decorated up as crazy as they can. Some of them have like full blown, scenes of Santa and the reindeer and the sleigh and the whole 9 yards. And
it's a boat float.
Yeah, exactly. Boat parade, boat floats. Yep, exactly. And you go to like Key Lime or somewhere like that, and you sit there and you watch them go by, or get up on the bridge. It's just a social event to stare at people with a lot more money than you got riding along in their boats.
I wonder if Gabriel Lane still does their Christmas thing.
Who?
There's a street called Gabriel Lane. It's off of Florida Mango.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it's like the best Christmas. Like literally every house on the street.
Yeah.
Goes pretty much all out.
Yes. It's funny too. I know my buddy used to live on that street.
Go ahead. You tell about your buddy, because my uncle used to live on that street. So go ahead.
Oh, no shit. No, it was I can't remember his name right. Oh, Craig. It was Craig and his wife was my boss at the Beefeaters during the day. I can't remember her name now. But that's how I know. I used to play golf with the guy all the time, and actually she used to cut my hair. But yeah, they lived right on that street, and I would say, like, you guys got to do it. And they're like, yeah, we do it, and we bust out all the lights every year. And I'm like, good for you, buddy.
So my grandmother's brother, whose name was John McDonald, he and his wife Roz used to live on that street. And this is back when I was a kid, so late 70s,
Right.
And I'm not so sure how big the decorating thing was. I think it was taking off there for the lights on the street. And he hated it and refused to do it. And pretty much everybody on the street hated him.
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
I think eventually he sold the house and moved primarily because of that reason.
He'd moved before I went there because everybody on the street does it now.
Yeah.
I used to live.
I'm pretty sure there's no HOA. It's just peer pressure.
No. Yeah, I used to live literally right equidistant from Forest Hill, on the other side of Forest Hill. In that's also Lake Clark Shores actually too. But yeah, we used to ride over there to in a Jeep with the top off to drive up and down the street and check it out. But yeah, where else did they used to do that? Oh,
does Lantana still have that giant Christmas tree, like the National Enquirer Christmas tree or something?
I don't think so. No,
that used to be a pretty big deal.
I'm pretty sure they still do that Hoffman chocolate thing. You remember that place on Lake Worth where they do like a whole, you like walk through a whole like exhibit, I guess you would call it, Christmas exhibit.
I remember the old location on Dixie. I don't think it's there anymore.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't do that there though, did they?
No.
Yeah, it's only the one out on Lake Worth.
My mom worked there for a little while, so I always had fond memories of the place.
Right. I know.
Plus, as a kid, it's a chocolate shop. Of course, I had fond memories of the place.
Evil chocolate. Evil chocolate. That chocolate was the substance banned for the longest ever, right?
No.
Oh yeah, Catholic Church banned chocolate for 500 years. You couldn't have chocolate. It makes prohibition and the drug war look like nothing. 500 years of the no chocolate, which I'm sure made it all that much more decadent when you had it. I'm sure everybody was eating it. But I don't know any more. What else?
Can't imagine life without chocolate, without coffee.
Well,
I mean, there's plenty of other plants that'll give you caffeine, but the taste of coffee is irreplaceable.
So did they didn't have chocolate in Europe till they discovered America, though, right?
Correct. After the Colombian Exchange, they didn't have vanilla there either. Their desserts must have been hellish.
Well, where vanilla...
Everything was ginger and cardamom and, stuff they got from the East.
Well, where most of the vanilla extract flavors can't come from, right?
Is it something like animal gland or something?
Yeah, it's beaver ass.
Yeah.
But then isn't there also something that grows that you can also get the vanilla flavor from?
Well, yeah, the vanilla is a plant. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's an orchid.
So is that what they did in Europe before they just, because obviously did they have beavers in Europe? They don't have beavers in Europe, do they?
I don't think they did.
I don't think so.
But I believe the whole gland thing is a way of mimicking vanilla that they had already found in plants because cheaper and easier that way. Disgusting, but cheaper.
Yeah. They were killing a lot of beaver back then, and bear oil. You ever seen that guy on? He went on Rogan once. He's like literally he sells bear oil, or is it bear? What do they call it? Bear. It's some kind of product they make from bears, like bear grease or some shit.
Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with that. I know they used to eat them.
But apparently you can use this.
I've heard of roasted bear paws. Apparently, is a delicacy or was a delicacy.
But apparently you can use this stuff for like a million things. It's been so long since I saw that episode, I forget. But yeah, it's this one guy who was on Rogan trying to like almost single-handedly bring back the bear product industry, trying to hawk whatever it is he's selling.
I just started using like beard oil to try to get this thing from being such a Brillo pad. And, maybe I should look into using bear grease for it.
Oh, there you go. Well, how long are you going to keep it?
Well, I mean, at least through the winter. But if I can get this to not be so rough, I might just go with it.
Really? Would you ever like consider doing like the thing with where they, the contests where they do triple mustaches and crazy shit like that?
Yeah, if I get it long enough.
Really? That'd be pretty wild.
In Charlotte in my youth, I used to rock the handlebar mustache as a waiter.
Like to use wax
I had
and everything?
Wax and everything.
You did? You used wax and everything?
Oh, yeah. Mustache wax. Yeah.
Now, what's that made out of?
I think it's beeswax primarily. Or canuba. I might be mispronouncing that. Been a long time since I used any of it.
I got to figure out how to... for a show coming in January, end of January, I got to figure out how to slick my hair back. I don't know if I'm going to just use like Vaseline or, Luckily, I think I'm actually rehearsing tomorrow with the guys in the band, and I think the drummer used to slick his hair back. I'll see what his tip is. What'd you used to use to slick your hair back?
Damn it, I don't want fop. I'm a Dippity Dan man.
That's right. What was that stuff called?
It was hard to find something like everything has all these horrible scents on it. Most of it was like sandalwood and stuff. Like, God, make
for your
beard
mustache
smell like incense. It would be for like the beard oil, beard treatments and stuff.
Oh, same thing though. You're gonna.
I finally settled on one, which is so counterintuitive. It's like supposedly it smells like aged bourbon or something. It's like great. So now you smell like an alcoholic.
Yeah, I would say.
No, officer, I wasn't drinking. Here, smell my beard oil.
Age? Why would you want your beer to smell like aged bourbon? I mean, what
Better
are the
than
other ones?
sandalwood.
What do the other ones smell like? I mean, wouldn't they? I would think they would just make them innocuously like odorless. Why would they have to smell like anything?
Well, they don't have to, but I wanted to get a head start on putting it on, so I went to Walmart just to see what they had there, and it doesn't
you were
smell
saying-
that bad. It doesn't really smell like bourbon.
But you were saying a lot of them have
Smell.
smells that are. I mean, I'm surprised they have smells at all. But I guess maybe that's. I've never been able to even grow a
Well,
beard.
to quote the movie again, the pleasing odor is half the point.
Really, I didn't get that from the movie.
Yep.
Dapper Dan.
Dippity Dan.
I think it was Dapper
Or
Dan.
no, maybe it was Dapper Dan.
Yeah, I think it was Dapper Dan.
Was Dapper? Yeah, I'm a Dapper Dan man.
Yeah, I don't think it was Dippity Dan. That sounds like Uncle Remus would use
Yeah,
Dippity Dan.
but the competing product definitely was called FOP.
Yeah.
Damn it, I don't want FOP.
I wonder what that stood for.
FOP, it meant then what it means now, like a dandy, like a guy who's
Oh, you don't
overly
think it's-
concerned
oh,
with
it's
his
not an
appearance and
acronym?
vain. Pardon?
I thought it was like an acronym of some sort.
No, I mean, I don't know the etymology behind it, but it's always meant the same thing.
Interesting. Interesting. So what else happened over the weekend?
FOP basically is city slicker
Yeah, right. Same
or
thing with
macaroni.
right. Same thing with dude. Like when I was watching something about the Big Lebowski and the fact that the dude is not really a cowboy. It's really a guy pretending to be a cowboy with too fancy of clothes.
Yeah, a FOP.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the same thing. Speaking of which, I was just thinking the other day, we are actually probably not, faithful practitioners, but we could probably easily be disciples of the religion of dudism. We're definitely we abide.
Yes.
We definitely abide.
Well, there's a lot of parallels between them and the Subgenius and the Slack.
That's true. That's true. And why did Donnie have to die? Just for the ashes on the cliff scene? I gotta say I laughed out loud at that scene. That was the most hilarious scene in the movie. And what was that
I
stuff
had to go
about
back and
Vietnam?
rewatch it.
What's that?
I said I'm going to go back and rewatch it. It's been a while.
Oh, really? No kidding. It was, I had an HBO for a long time, and they used to run it a lot on HBO, so I remember it. That's one of those ones. I don't care if it's on, I'll watch it. I don't care how many times I've seen it. Even just to see that one scene again. There's like, so many of our young men sacrificed their lives. Oh, God. Yeah, just don't make movies like that anymore. Or do they? What is a good movie to see now? I still haven't seen, I guess that Nick Cage movie hasn't come out yet.
Oh, the Carpenter's Son?
Yeah. That's going to be interesting when it does come out. And, I keep forgetting, you know Nick Cage isn't his real name, right?
Yeah, it's Coppola.
Yeah, right. I keep forgetting he's a Coppola. They have
There's a heist movie just came out. One of those, I think it's the third one of the Now You See Me, where the magicians all work together to steal a bunch of money.
Right. Is Ethan Hawke in that? Or no, it's that other guy. No, it's the other guy. I forget his name now. Jesse.
He's got to be in promoting something though, because he did Rogan not that long ago.
Yeah, actually, I was just watching a movie of his online that I'd never seen. I guess it was like a straight to Netflix movie or something. But it was a Billy the Kid redo. I only got so far, and it was like, yeah, I see where this is going. I'm not watching.
Have you seen the Billy the Kid movie called Old Henry?
Oh yeah, many
Yeah, that's a
times.
good flick.
Yeah,
I
it is.
really, really like the guy that. I mean, he's like everything we talk about goes back to "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" But
Right, right.
they,
Yeah, that's a great movie.
he does a great cowboy in anything. He was also great in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Right, right.
He's the singing cowboy.
Well, that's almost. I mean, that's almost comical. I mean, you know.
Oh, it's not almost,
Yeah,
definitely
well,
comical.
yeah. I mean, that's not even playing a cowboy. That's playing Bugs Bunny, basically.
Yeah, but not every story in that movie was comical. Most of them were pretty rough.
Well,
It was like an
I've never seen.
anthology of stories.
I've only seen clips of that movie. I've never really actually seen the whole movie.
No, some of the other stories are very dark.
Oh, really? But speaking of clips, I was watching this clip of what's that actor's name? He was in. He was with He was in with Jack Nicholson in A Few Good Men. The other lawyer, not Tom Cruise, the other guy, little short Jewish guy. Anyway,
Was he also the guy in Usual Suspects?
Yes.
Okay, I can't think of his name, but
Yeah,
I know,
you know
I
what I'm
can
talking about.
picture
Anyway,
him.
he's telling a story on. Oh yeah, Kevin Pock. Thank you.
There you go.
Our producer Ryan. Right on cue. Kevin Pock. He's telling a story about Jack Nicholson on the set of that movie. Or no, it wasn't. Was it in that movie? No, it was some other movie where what's his name was directing or acting or something. What's his name that we just said? Nick Cage's dad or whatever the fuck.
Coppola.
Coppola, right. So he telling the story to this guy going, you know what surreal is? He goes, surreal is when you're acting with, or I guess he was doing a scene with Coppola or acting for, or talking to Coppola or something. And he goes, it's really surreal when you're working with somebody and then you halfway through a conversation, you realize I'm banging his daughter. And then Kevin Pollak's like, did you guys see that? Anybody see that? Like, that's surreal. That's a great story. That's one of the best. I mean, Jack Nicholson's just, that guy's, when he dies, somebody's got to make a story of his life. I mean, you got to have some kind of biopic on Jack Nicholson. He's lived one hell of a life, I imagine. I mean, Easy Rider was basically what vaulted him to fame, right?
Yeah, I think or Five Easy which one came out first? Five Easy Pieces or Easy Diner?
I don't know.
Or Easy Rider?
I don't know. You may actually be right. It might have been Five Easy Pieces. Might have been first, but I don't know. But
I think that was his breakout role.
Right. And that's like, imagine becoming, that famous in the late 50s, early 60s. What a ride. What a ride. I mean, that whole...
When he finally does die, they'll probably get Christian Slater to play him because he basically just acts like him in every movie that he does.
Yeah. But I mean, I got to say, I'm thankful to have lived through, well, at least the late 60s and all the 70s. The 80s were a lot of fun, but they weren't. The 70s were different, man. The 70s were like the late 60s, early 70s, mid 70s, just a different time. Just nobody cared about nothing.
To touch back on the Reiner thing, I didn't realize until I was reading an article about the incident. They were going over his past work and stuff, that his very first movie was This Is Spinal Tap.
Right.
And his very last movie was the sequel to Spinal Tap.
Oh, yeah, no shit. And that's interesting.
What a weird way to bookend your career.
Yeah. No kidding.
And of course, he did direct one of my personal all-time favorite movies,
Princess Bride. Yeah. What was the other? What else did he do?
Stand By Me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there had to have been others, but those are the big ones.
Oh,
I think of.
Harry
When
met
Harry
Sally,
Met
I think
Sally.
it's, yeah. Yeah. You know, that it seems like directing a movie would be fun. Only thing is, I guess you got to, you're a lot of pressure to deliver. But other than that, the actual process of it would probably be pretty fun. I guess he tells us. I guess Rob Reiner made one of those kids on Stand By Me cry on set, like just clearly. I mean, I guess just by being mean to him or whatever. But afterwards, he's like, "Hey, I had to do it. I had to get the kid to cry."
Right. It was probably Will Wheaton.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Will Wheaton. Or no, the other one. I think it was the other guy. Jerry something maybe. I forget. I'm so bad with freaking names. Especially those not quite famous actor guys. Those guys, there's so many of those guys, like, you see him in like 20 movies and you're like, I know who that guy is, but I couldn't tell you his name. There's so many guys like that.
Who's that character actor just died recently? Peter something. He was the boyfriend of Cher in Mask, and he was Zed in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
One of the two guys in the pawn shop.
Yeah. He wasn't even in that many. Like that guy now, for some reason I remember his name, like something Tucci. What's that guy's name?
Stanley Tucci.
Yeah. Like he's like in a fucking million things. And he's not that, in not very often the star of too many of the things. Matter of fact, I'm thinking of the biggest role I think he ever had was the one with Tom Hanks in the airport.
Oh yeah, the Terminal. I think that movie's called.
I mean, other than that, I can't think of a movie where he was like really one of the main characters.
Yeah, he's a supporting actor.
Yeah, in like a million things too, dude. That guy was in a million movies. I wonder if that's, I wonder if you get richer that way by being just the guy in every movie instead of being, although the stars end up making so much money. Once you get to a certain, like, once you become an A-lister, I guess, you go from making like $1 million a movie to like 30 million a movie or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like it might be more satisfying artistically to get to play a wide variety of things.
True.
As opposed to getting, most of the leading guys get kind of typecast into playing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for the ones that are very selective and partially insane, like your Daniel Day-Lewis.
Right. Ethan Hawke's one of those guys. He's kind of out there. He's definitely all about the craft. Did you ever see that thing he did? I want to say it was for Showtime, where he played Brown, the guy that was trying to emancipate the slaves. I forget the name of the show, but it was a bunch of series. It was a big long series, probably about 10 or 12 episodes. Interesting character though. The way he portrayed
I've never
John
seen
Brown.
it, but that's an interesting character in history to play.
Yeah, and he played him very interestingly. And it was fun. It was a weird series too because it was through the eyes of this, actually a guy that had apparently escaped from slavery by posing to be a little girl, and throughout the whole story, he was still, he was a young guy. He was like only like 18 or 16 or 18, so he could kind of pass for a girl. And the whole thing, he was pretending to be this girl, except for a few people, like this one other black dude was like, "Yeah, that ain't no girl," Everybody else, all the white people were like, "Oh yeah, that could be a black girl. We don't know the difference." They couldn't tell. But that was a really interesting. Yeah, Ethan Hawke's one of those guys that really gets he's into the craft of acting. I guess, I forget, he told some interesting stories about Training Day, too. About stuff he learned from Denzel. Like, apparently a lot of that was improvised. A lot of that was, like, off script. Yeah. Was that Michael Mann? Did he direct that?
I don't know.
It seems like that's his style. You know what I mean? But I could be wrong about that. But but that's the other thing about directing is, some guys like Tarantino apparently like, no, there's no improvising. You stick to the script. Where other guys will be like, all right, well, we did a couple of takes with the script. Why don't we do some takes where you guys just, loosely. And of course, I don't know if you know, but Spinal Tap, no script.
Yeah, I did know that. I feel like the improvisation happens a lot more on comedies, or at least movies that have a substantial amount of comedy in them. And most of Tarantino's movies are not very funny.
Well, yeah, I would also think, there's definitely a lot more room for improvisation in a comedy. I mean, if you're in a drama and you're pretty much trying to make a pretty specific point or deliver some pretty specific dialogue. And I'm sure they allow for some improvisation.
A lot of comedic actors come from improv background.
Yeah, that's true.
Sketch comedy.
This is true. And, that's a funny thing. They have improv classes. Now, that doesn't seem like something you could teach. You know what I mean? Kind of like bartending classes. You know what I mean? Maybe a good bartender, you can't teach.
Half of it is a class, and the other half is just for you to figure out if you can even do this or not.
Yeah, that's probably about it. Yeah,
there's a way to meet other people that may or may not be able to do it.
Right. Yeah, because how do you teach somebody to improv? That's just...
I know that one of the primary tenets behind it is to go with the concept of yes and. So no matter what somebody says to you, you don't contradict it, but you agree with it, and then you add to it.
Well, what's wrong with contradicting it? That could be just as entertaining and improvisational. I don't know. That doesn't...
I don't know. I just know.
I guess I could see where that would kind of keep the improv going. I don't know if that would make it funny or not. Pretty much the main
reason behind it, I think, is just to keep it going.
Well, I would think the goal would be to make it funny.
I'm sure there's, ways and times to break the rules. If you got something solid enough, then you go against it if it's funny. But I've never taken an improv class. It's just what I've heard.
I don't even know if I'd want to take one, but I would want to see one, and like somebody to go in and film one and just put it online or something. So what exactly are they going to teach you in an improv? And I guess acting classes might be kind of similar, because what can they teach you in an acting class? How to pretend? This is how you pretend?
How to memorize your lines? I don't know.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Oh, yeah, what was that?
I don't know. We didn't just turn off, did we? I hope not. Well, actually, truthfully, oh, God damn it. 904-549-9024. I've been meaning I was going to say it at the beginning, and I forgot. Anyway.
Yeah, I forgot too, though. So.
Yeah, we got to start pumping that number out there. Get somebody to call us. And just call us and leave us, look, even if it's just to tell us, call us up and bitch about your day. How about that? We'll issue that challenge. Call us up and tell us what bugged you today. We'll try to address your problem.
What grinds your gears?
Yeah, there you go. What grinds your gears? There we go. We'll make it a new segment of. Anyway, so you got any plans for Christmas?
Yeah, I'm going to Ohio for Christmas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you talked about that last.
Winter Wonderland.
Righto. Now, will there be a sleigh ride involved, do you think?
Probably not. I don't want to spend that much time out in it. Nice to look at through a window.
Right.
Maybe walk a dog in the snow.
Kind of a traditional Christmas up in Ohio?
I think they do it.
Well, is it just going to be you and Heather, or is it going to be Heather's family, or?
Huh?
Is it just you and Heather, or is her family going to be there? Or?
Well, her family lives there. Yeah.
So I wouldn't rule it out. You might get roped into one.
It's possible.
Definitely going to have to bring some frickin'... Do you even have warm enough clothes for that kind of thing? Well, I guess you have leftover.
I actually have. Exactly. Yeah. I've got all the warm clothes possibly needed.
See,
I got gloves, boots, hats, the whole 9 yards.
Is there any point where you get sick of schlepping that kind of warm weather clothes around when you're living in Florida? I would have probably thrown it away by now.
Well, living in South Florida, they would all be in storage for sure.
Right.
But it gets cold enough here to wear most of it.
This is true. I don't think I even have. I mean, the heaviest jacket I have is a motorcycle jacket.
No, I almost even like it. I mean, to a certain point, but it gets too cold. But it is nice to be able to wear stuff that is just too hot and sweaty to wear otherwise.
Yeah, that's true. True that. All right. Well, you got anything else?
But I think even though we didn't do it in the beginning, 904-549-9024.
Yeah, let's pound it in there. God, I like literally hours ago, like, all right, just start out the episode with the phone number. Just say, I forgot. Mine is like a sieve.
Flashing on the screen behind you there on the logo.
Right. Oh, the other thing I was thinking, if Scott's watching, one little addition would be really great to that logo is we put like a parental advisory across there, like the old, like CDs used to have back in the day,
right.
Just to make sure they know
Explicit.
It's not a kid's show. But other than that,
I think that the demonic look in our eyes is more than enough.
That's true. That is pretty scary. It is pretty scary looking. All right, that's with that scary thought. Let's get on out of here. I'll see you next time.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's give them that number one more time just to really hammer it in at the end here.
904-549-9024. That 954 wants to sneak in there every time because that's a stupid exchange down here. All right, I'm out. We'll see you later.